Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about another medical prefix which we will use in order to showcase something as direction or position. Okay, so as we have already covered few sessions related to the medical prefixes, so this is in the continuation of the same where we will discuss only about those medical terminology prefixes that denote direction and position. Okay. So how we will proceed with this session? First of all, I will tell you a few prefixes with their meaning, and to make it more clear, we will also discuss few example. Because let's say if you are working as a medical coder or any profile related to the medical, then you should know about the prefix meaning as well as you should be able to identify the terminology on the basis of prefix. So that's why we need to look into the example as well. Okay, so let's start and see what we have today. So first thing is para. Para prefix is mainly used in order to showcase something as alongside or abnormal. Okay, so whenever you want to show something as alongside or abnormal, then we will use the prefix para. Okay, so let's see the example for it. First is paranasal. Paranasal means alongside the nose. So suppose there is a medical procedure or medical report where the terminology is written as paranasal. So you can break down this in two part. First one is your prefix and second one is your root word. So here para is indicating alongside and nose is represented by nasal. So this is how this terminology come into the picture, paranasal. Then we have paracervical. Paracervical means alongside with the cervix. So same thing here also, like whenever you want to showcase something as alongside the cervix, then we will use the terminology paracervical, where para is a prefix. So these are the two examples for alongside. Now para is also used in order to showcase the abnormal of something. Okay, so for example, you can see we have one example as parasomnia. Parasomnia means abnormal behavior during sleep. So again, we are using para here, but this time it is used in order to showcase the abnormal behavior during sleep. Similarly, we have parathesia. Parathesia means abnormal sensations such as tingling or numbness. So whenever you want to produce a sound of abnormality related to the sensations, then we will use the terminology parathesia, where para is a prefix to showcase abnormal. Okay, so this is all about the para prefix, which is used in order to showcase something alongside or abnormal. Fine. Now we will look at the next prefix. Next prefix is patho. Patho prefix is mainly used in order to showcase something as disease. Okay, so for example, like here you can see one example is pathology. Now what is pathology? Pathology is a study of disease and their causes, process, processes, and development and consequences. Okay, so whenever we are discussing about the study which is related to the uh, disease, causes, processes, development, and consequences, then in that case we will use the prefix pathology, where patho is used to showcase as patho is used to produce the sound of disease. Okay. Similarly, we have next example which is pathogen. Now, what is pathogen? Pathogen means a microorganism or agent that cause disease. So whenever something causes a disease, then that type of organism, that type of agent we will call as pathogen. Okay, so again you can see that yes, patho is used in order to relate something as disease. Then we have pathogenesis. Pathogenesis means the development or initiation of any disease. So just assume a scenario where doctor has prescribed something, and in that report you have found this word pathogenesis. That means something is there which is initiated, or you can say one disease is started, a development process for one disease is started. Then in that case, the doctor will use the terminology pathogenesis. Okay, so this is also used with the help of patho prefix. Similarly, we have pathogenic. Now, pathogenic means capable of causing disease. So, if there is any substance or particle which is capable of causing any kind of disease, then in that case, we will use the terminology pathogenic. Okay. So, if you look at all of these examples, one thing is common, which is disease, because patho is mainly used in order to showcase disease. So far we have got two prefixes. First one is para, which is used in order to showcase alongside or abnormal. So para prefix is used for two reasons. Sometimes it is used for showing alongside, and sometimes it is used for showing the abnormality. Okay. Then we discussed about the patho, which is only used in order to showcase something as disease, or it is related to disease, you can say. Fine. Then we have next prefix as peri. Peri means around, and this is very straightforward. Like whenever you want to make a sound of around of something, around a particular body part or anything, then in that case we will use the terminology uh, prefix as peri. For example, first example is periapical. Periapical means around the apex of tooth. So when we want to showcase something around the apex of tooth, then in that case we will use the terminology periapical, which contains the prefix peri. Similarly, we have pericarditis. Pericarditis, mean, pericarditis means inflammation of pericardium, the sac around the heart. So again, you can see we are denoting something around the heart, which is sac. So it means pericarditis is also a terminology, also a medical terminology, which is used in order to showcase the sac around the heart. Okay, fine. Then we have pericornitis. Pericornitis means inflammation around the crown of tooth. So this terminology is also used by the you can say dentist. So whenever there is any kind of inflammation around the crown of the tooth, then they uh, prepare the document, medical document, with this terminology, which is pericornitis. Pericornitis. Then we have periosteum. Now, what is periosteum? Periosteum is a membrane around the bones. So let's say if for a particular medical reason we want to document something which is used to denote something as around the bones, a kind of membrane around the bones, then in that case we will use the terminology periosteum. Periosteum. Okay, where peri means around and osteum means membrane around the bones, membrane of the bones. Okay, so in this example we discussed about like four example, which is periapical around the apex of tooth. Then we discussed about the pericarditis, which is for the inflammation or of the pericardium, or you can say the sac around the heart. And then we discussed about the pericornitis, which is inflammation around the crown of a tooth. And then at last we discussed about the periosteum, which is mainly used to showcase the membrane around the bones. So yeah, these are the three prefix which I want to show you in this session, and in the next session we will discuss other prefixes. And for today we have one question, like what information is provided by the prefix meso and meta. So this thing we have already covered in our one of the previous session. So I hope you know about the answer of this question, so you can simply put the answer in the comment section. And if you have any issue regarding this question, then in that case you can refer the previous session, because these are the things that we have already covered. Okay, so you can check this out, and if you know the answer, then I recommend you to please share your knowledge in the comment section. So yeah, that's all for today. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.